Hi everyone, this is a Mars Hill Latin 2 lecture for lessons 26 and unit 5 review. So this is our last lecture for the course, and we are only covering 2 rather than 3 lessons, so this should be a slightly shorter video. So lesson 26 is just covering the 4th conjugation present system passive, and it also discusses the 3rd IO conjugation present passive. Okay, so we're going to follow our same model as we did with the other conjugation. So we're going to replace, to make it passive, we're going to replace our active personal endings with passive ones. So we get audior, audieris, auditor, audimur, audimini, audiontor. Then we have our imperfect, which is, you have your imperfect tense sign ba. You get audiebar, audiebaris, audiebator, audiebamor, audiebamini, audiebantor. And then in the future we get audiar, audieris, audietor, audiemur, audiemini, audientor. Okay, at the bottom of your page 76, you see 3rd declension words now. This is about 10 of your vocab words. Remember that 3rd declension nouns ending in or and oris are usually masculine, but since trees are generally feminine, arbor, arboris is an exception to this gender rule. So we've said before that oris words are usually masculine, but the word for tree is an exception. It's feminine. So do make sure, that's a good note to remember, that you have to memorize the gender of all of your all of your noun vocab words, because they don't always have what we call natural gender. Natural gender being sort of biological gender. So not everything has a biological gender. Chairs, for example, aren't really masculine or feminine. So those have, but the word chair, sella, is feminine. But that's not because somebody thought chairs were female. It's just because that is grammatical gender. So anyway, do remember and memorize your genders with your nouns. Okay, how do we do the 3rd conjugation IO? So for copio, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go copy or, copieris, copitor, copimor, copimini, copiontor. Then the imperfect, copiebar, copiebaris, copiebator, copiebamor, copiebamini, copiebantor. And then finally we have the future, copiar, copieris, copietor, copiemor, copiemini, copientor. Now notice the 2nd person singular of the present tense for both conjugations. The 3rd IO verbs follow the irregular pattern that we saw in the 3rd conjugation, but the 4th conjugation does not. So that refers to last time where I said that the 3rd conjugation in the present 2nd person singular has E instead of I. So we would expect copiris or regeris, but instead we get coperis and regeris. Okay? But audio has audieris, just like we would expect. Okay, then we have our unit 5 review. This is reviewing all of your present passive system verbs. And all I want to have you remember about this is that, a few things, sorry. Things to remember. Passive verbs, when we have a passive verb, the subject is receiving the action of the verb. When we have an active verb, we have the subject performing the action of the verb. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing, ablative of agent and ablative of means. Remember, ablative of agent is when we have a living agent, a living actor who's doing the action. And we translate that with a or ob plus its object. And then when we want to use an ablative of means, we translate that without a preposition, but with just an ablative. Okay, so examples in English of each of these. We could say the Gauls were killed by Caesar. So in that case, we would use a Caesare. But if we wanted to say by swords, the Gauls were killed by swords, we would just say gladiis in the plural. So we'd have just an ablative without any preposition. Finally, we have a third declension gender rule. Nouns ending in x are usually feminine, but nouns ending in or oris are usually masculine, with the exception of words like arbor, where arbor means tree. Trees are usually understood as feminine, and so that one word, even though it ends in or oris, is feminine rather than masculine. Okay, this is your last lecture, and I think we've covered everything pretty quickly in about 6 minutes. So I will see you in class, and God bless you.